The global balance of power is shifting, and at the center is Turkey, a key NATO member and longtime EU candidate, now seeking to join the BRICS bloc. This move is not just a simple shift in alliances, it represents a significant geopolitical maneuver. This move, confirmed by Ankara in late 2024, signals a dramatic rethinking of Turkey's alliances and a bold step toward a multi-aligned foreign policy. It's a clear message to the world that Turkey is ready to diversify its partnerships and assert its independence on the global stage. For decades, Turkey has bridged Europe and Asia, anchoring itself to the West through NATO and its EU candidacy. This unique position has allowed Turkey to play a crucial role in regional stability and global diplomacy. But President Erdogan's overtures to BRICS mark a pivotal moment, challenging the post-Cold War order and forcing a reassessment of Turkey's global role. Erdogan's strategy seems to be driven by a desire to enhance Turkey's influence and leverage in international affairs. Is this a true strategic pivot, or a calculated move to gain leverage with the West? Analysts are divided, with some seeing it as a genuine shift in foreign policy, while others view it as a tactical maneuver to extract concessions from Western allies. Likely, it's both, a reflection of national interest and frustration with Western double standards. Turkey's leadership has often expressed dissatisfaction with the slow progress of EU accession talks and perceived biases within NATO. Turkey's potential entry into BRICS would reshape the Bloc and Eurasian geopolitics, coming at a time of global uncertainty and rising multipolarity. The inclusion of Turkey could bring new dynamics to BRICS, enhancing its economic and political clout. Middle powers like Turkey are no longer content with old alliances, they're seeking autonomy, and BRICS offers a new platform to achieve it. This move could signal a broader trend of countries re-evaluating their positions in the global order, seeking new alliances that better serve their national interests. BRICS has evolved far beyond its original members, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, since its inception in the early 2000s. What began as a loose coalition of emerging economies has steadily transformed into a powerful bloc with global ambitions, reshaping the international order and challenging the dominance of Western-led institutions. Over the years, BRICS has grown in both influence and scope, becoming a forum where major developing nations can coordinate strategies, discuss global challenges, and push for reforms in global governance. Its most significant expansion came in late 2024 and early 2025, when Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and Indonesia joined the group. This historic enlargement marked a turning point, transforming BRICS into a heavyweight institution with a truly global reach and a more diverse membership. The addition of these new members brought fresh perspectives, new economic strengths, and a broader geographic footprint, making BRICS more representative of the global South. The inclusion of Iran and traditional U.S. partners like Egypt and the UAE highlights shifting allegiances and the growing appeal of multi-alignment in a rapidly changing world. Countries are increasingly seeking to diversify their partnerships, balancing ties with both Western and non-Western powers. With Indonesia's accession, BRICS Plus now represents about 45% of the world's population and over 35% of global GDP, directly challenging the G7's influence. This expanded bloc wields significant economic and demographic power, making it a formidable force in global affairs. The bloc's expanded control over resources, especially oil and other critical commodities, gives it substantial economic leverage. This newfound strength allows BRICS to negotiate from a position of power on the world stage, influencing everything from energy markets to trade policies. For Turkey, joining BRICS means access to new markets, greater influence in shaping global rules, and a chance to move beyond the limits of traditional Western alliances. It's an opportunity to diversify its economic partnerships and play a more active role in global decision-making. BRICS is no longer just an economic club, it's a platform for non-Western powers to coordinate politically and economically, offering an alternative vision for global cooperation and development. This is the dynamic, expanding group that now attracts Turkey's interest, promising new opportunities and a seat at the table of a rapidly changing world order. Turkey's pivot to BRICS is rooted in decades of mounting frustration with the European Union. Since applying in 1987, Turkey's EU journey has been marked by slow progress, political obstacles, and cultural resistance from several key EU states. Despite early reforms, the 2016 coup attempt and subsequent crackdown led to a freeze in accession talks, with the EU citing democratic backsliding and growing concerns. By 2018, negotiations were effectively dead, fueling Turkish disillusionment and a deep sense of rejection. Many in Ankara see the EU's stance as disingenuous, using political objections to keep Turkey at arm's length indefinitely. Against this backdrop, BRICS offers Turkey a fresh opportunity and an escape from a stalled, disappointing process with Europe. Turkey's bid to join BRICS is more than just a diplomatic gesture. It's a calculated move for greater strategic autonomy and fresh economic opportunity. As global power dynamics shift, Ankara is determined to carve out a role that goes beyond traditional alliances. President Erdogan's foreign policy resists a simple East-West label. By actively courting BRICS while remaining a key NATO member, Turkey is signaling its ambition to be an indispensable bridge power, one that can engage with both Western and non-Western blocs on its own terms. Economically, the BRICS group offers Turkey access to vast and rapidly growing markets, as well as the new development bank, which provides financing with fewer political strings attached than many Western institutions. This could help Turkey diversify its trade partners and reduce its reliance on the West. Politically, joining BRICS would give Turkey a seat at the table with major non-Western powers, strengthening its influence in the Middle East, Africa, and Central Asia. It's a chance to shape global conversations and build new alliances beyond the traditional Western sphere. It's also a clear message to the West: Turkey has alternatives. By exploring new partnerships, Ankara increases its leverage in negotiations with the EU and the US, reminding them that it's not bound to a single geopolitical path. Whether seeking better trade terms, security concessions, or simply greater respect on the world stage, Ankara's BRICS gambit forces the West to reconsider its approach. It's a way to demand more balanced relationships and assert its own priorities. This is a high-stakes strategy, but one Turkey sees as essential in a rapidly changing world. As global alliances shift and new powers rise, Ankara is determined not to be left behind. Ultimately, Turkey's eastward gaze is about maximizing national interests in a multipolar era, securing its future by keeping every option on the table. Turkey's BRICS application has triggered predictable reactions: concern in Brussels, enthusiasm in Moscow. The EU warns that joining BRICS would push Turkey further from Europe, complicating cooperation on migration, security, and regional stability. Turkey's move raises questions about NATO cohesion and the future of EU-Turkey relations. Meanwhile, Russia welcomes Turkey's interest, seeing it as a geopolitical win and a blow to Western unity. For Moscow, a NATO member in BRICS validates its vision of a waning West and a rising alternative order. Despite differences in Syria and Libya, Russia and Turkey have built a pragmatic partnership, highlighted by Ankara's purchase of Russian S-400 missiles. Turkey's BRICS bid is the next step in this evolving relationship, further binding Ankara to a non-Western axis. A key driver for Turkey and others joining BRICS is the push for de-dollarization, reducing reliance on the US dollar and its associated leverage. BRICS is promoting local currencies in trade and developing an alternative to the Western-dominated SWIFT system. For Turkey, which has faced US sanctions and currency volatility, this offers greater economic sovereignty. BRICS also provides a new model for development financing, with the new development bank offering loans without the political conditions typical of the IMF or World Bank. This partnership-based approach appeals to countries wary of Western oversight and austerity demands. Joining BRICS gives emerging economies a stronger voice in global forums and a platform to push for reform of institutions like the UN and WTO. Many see BRICS as a movement for a more equitable global order, challenging Western dominance. For Turkey, it's a chance to shape a new system that better reflects its interests. Turkey's entry into BRICS would trigger major geopolitical shifts, testing its NATO ties and credibility in the West. The US and EU would likely respond with suspicion, restricting intelligence sharing and military cooperation. For BRICS, admitting a NATO member is a symbolic victory, expanding its influence and global reach. Turkey's strategic location and military strength would boost the bloc, but its Western ties could also create new tensions within BRICS. The EU would face the reality of losing a candidate country to a rival bloc, complicating cooperation on key issues. For the US, it's a blow to its alliance system and a sign of shifting global power. Turkey's BRICS move is more than a policy shift. It's a sign of a world in flux where old alliances are dissolving and new ones are taking shape. The rise of multipolarity is no longer theory. It's unfolding in real time.